Welcome to your IELTS listening practice from Spinta.org. This is a mini-test designed to help you practice a specific section of the exam and improve your confidence. The recording will be played one time only, just like in the official test. Let's begin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will explore a fascinating topic within music theory, which delves into cultural scales and modes. This subject is essential for understanding how different societies organize musical pitch systems, which ultimately shapes their unique musical expressions. Music as an art form transcends borders and often reflects the cultural fabric of societies. So let's build a foundation by first defining some critical concepts. To begin, we must understand what a scale is. A scale is essentially a series of notes organized by pitch. It serves as a framework for melodies and harmonies, providing the necessary context for musical expressions. Scales can vary widely from one culture to another, and play a foundational role in the creation of music. One key characteristic of scales is their capacity to convey various emotions and atmospheres. Additionally, there are different types of scales, such as major and minor scales, but we will focus more on cultural scales today. Now, what about modes? A mode can be understood as a specific arrangement of intervals within a scale. Modes create a distinct musicality by altering the sequence of whole and half steps, thereby affecting the overall mood and texture of a piece. In Western music, the system of modes is derived from the diatonic scale, which comprises 7 unique modes. However, across the globe, the concept of modes is much richer and more varied. Modes contribute intricately to the identity and diversity of music throughout different cultures. Firstly, let's consider how culture interweaves with scales and modes. Every culture develops its unique musical traditions that reflect its history and societal structures. The organization of pitch within cultural expressions often highlights the distinct characteristics of that society. For instance, the pentatonic scale, characterized by its 5 notes, is widely used in many Asian musical traditions. This scale allows for fluidity and expressiveness that resonates deeply within their culture. Additionally, understanding pitch as a concept is essential in our discussion today. Pitch is the perceptual property of sounds that allows us to classify them as relatively high or low. It is pivotal to the construction of scales and modes. Cultures may organize pitch differently, resulting in unique musical frameworks. For example, in Indian classical music, the use of raga illustrates the distinct relationship between pitch and emotion, showcasing how cultural context influences musical expression. Let's take a closer look at Western music techniques. Here, we often find the major and minor scales being predominant. The major scale is characterized by a happy or bright sound, while the minor scale evokes a more somber or melancholic emotion. This duality illustrates the deep connection between cultural scales and emotional expression. Significantly, cultural evolution also plays a role in this categorization, leading to the development of modal systems within Western tradition. In terms of traditional music, we see certain scales remain prevalent throughout generations. For example, the Arab music system is built around a unique collection of scales known as maqamat. One interesting aspect of the maqam system is its microtonal intervals, allowing for a sound distinct from Western music, highlighting how the principles of pitch organization create different musical languages. Moreover, let us consider a case study: the Inuit music traditions of Arctic cultures. Inuit music often doesn't follow traditional Western pitch systems. Instead, it utilizes unique vocal techniques and specific melodic contours, suited to their cultural practices and environmental context. The modes employed in Inuit music reflect their relationship with nature, demonstrating how cultural identity transcends into musical applications. As we continue to examine various cultures, we can't overlook the impact of globalization on musical scales and modes. Over the past century, music has become increasingly globalized, leading to a blending of distinct styles from different cultures. This cross-pollination brings about hybrid scales that draw from multiple traditions. For instance, contemporary pop music often intertwines Western and Eastern musical scales, resulting in an eclectic sound that resonates with diverse audiences. Secondly, let's address how musical traditions might influence the creation and perception of scales. For example, in African music, the scale systems can vary widely even within the same region. Certain regions may emphasize specific intervals that relate to particular dances or rituals. These relationships indicate how deeply interconnected music is with identity, community, and practice. The cultural significance imbued in regional scales fosters a stronger sense of belonging and continuity among musical practitioners. As we dive into the analysis of different cultural approaches to scales and modes, we see how each system serves its purpose in conveying stories, emotions, and ideologies of its people. The uniqueness of each scale and mode builds upon historical developments and cultural exchanges over time. They create a foundation for musical dialogue that is ever-changing yet rooted in tradition. In conclusion, cultural scales and modes are pivotal in understanding how different societies structure musical pitch systems. By examining scales as organized series of notes and modes as specific arrangements of intervals, we reveal the intricacies of musical expression tied to cultural identities. Therefore, it is vital to recognize and appreciate the diversity in musical frameworks worldwide, noting that the emotional and experiential qualities inherent in music come from these very structures. As we reflect upon these systems, remember the significance of tradition, cultural practices, and the human connection to music. It is within these frameworks that we can appreciate the spirit of creativity that music embodies across the globe.
You have now completed the practice test. When you are ready for a full exam experience, visit us at Spinta.org. There you will find complete mock tests for all 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Our platform provides instant AI feedback for your speaking and writing tasks, along with an accurate prediction of your band score. Take control of your preparation at Spinta.org.